Okay, knife gun guy here. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna do a little video series. Actually, I'm gonna put it together in one video. I'm just gonna shoot it in parts. I'm gonna put it together in one video. I'll try to keep it around like 8 or 10 minutes or something. But basically, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you guys how to restore, rehang, just completely bring an old axe or an old tool back to life. This is an axe that I just found at an antique shop. He was asking $25 for it. I paid $4 for it, which is pretty good. It's a Ward's Master Quality double bit axe, and it's in okay shape. It'll be in good shape to show you guys how to do this for sure, and it'll be a good user axe afterwards. Ward's Master Quality is a good axe. So basically, I'm just going to show you from start to finish what I'm going to do here. So, the first thing I'm going to do is I'll peel off this ridiculous price tag. I told him, I said, you're not getting 25 bucks for that, dude, sorry. Okay, so, then we're going to take regular vinegar, just white vinegar, and we'll put enough in this little thing right here. This is my bath container. I use the same one every time. Now, when you're done with this bath, so you use this vinegar bath on these axe heads. When you're done with that, you can use that same vinegar with the rust in it to dye your leather projects black. So that's kind of a cool thing too. But anyway, so I'll take this axe head and I'll just make sure I got enough vinegar in there to soak this entire head. I don't want to touch it and get all gross. I need to do this a little bit more so the top of it is soaked. You just want to make sure that the vinegar right there is just covering that whole axe head. Okay, so that's the first part right there. Okay guys, back again here with this axe head. So this is going to be kind of part 2 here. What we're going to do is, it's been in the vinegar bath, and as you're doing that, every once in a while you can take a wire brush like this one right here, and just go and kind of hit over the top of that. And you see how that came out. Came out really nice. It was actually only in that bath for, probably about 6 hours is all it took. And I'm happy with this. This is not going to be like a showpiece or anything. This is going to be a user axe for me. So, so this is going to be good. So the next thing I'm going to do to it is, the next step is to take, I use Perma Blue. Liquid gun blue. You can just get this at like Sportsman's Warehouse or Cabela's or any of those type of places. And what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and blue this. And how I do that, so I've rinsed the vinegar off of it with water. Make sure that's all off of there. Sorry, I'm going to do this with one hand in the camera and one hand on the thing. So what I'm going to do here is take this gun bluing and just get it on a paper towel here. We'll rub it on there, and you can see that start to blue that immediately. Okay, and hopefully here with a few layers we can get this thing pretty dark. Okay guys, so now I've got the bluing done to my liking, and I've oiled it up so you guys can kind of see that now. Looks pretty good, pretty even. Like I said, this is a user axe for me anyway, so it ended up looking pretty good. Okay, so now what we got to fix is, see, whoever did this, you can just see this, the crappy grind jobs they've done in here, and there's some pitting on the, or there's some nicks out of the ends of these, and just really crappy grind work. So when you go along here and put we're going to profile the edge is all we're going to do. We're not going to sharpen it yet. We're just going to kind of profile this edge. And get rid of those pits and just get a nice good grind on there. Then we'll hang it. And after we hang it, then we can go through into our final sharpening. I don't like to do the final sharpening before I hang it, because sometimes when you're hanging them and stuff, it's easy to come in contact with the blade a little bit, and so we'll just go ahead and do this first. Okay, so how I do that is with a 4.5 inch grinder with a sanding disc on it, and I just go really slow as to not heat the edge up. So Alrighty guys, next phase here, we've got the edges all ground and smooth, and they're all nice and straight. So the next thing we're going to do on this guy, the head's pretty much ready to be hung now. So I went and picked up a handle here. This is just a hickory handle right here, and what you want to find in those, this is the best one they had, but you want to find grain that goes this direction as much as possible. So this one's decent. Decent grain. It's kind of out of the side of the tree. I would have liked it to be more in the center, but this is pretty decent grain. You can see up here that the grain's going this direction, which is how you want it. So if you have an overstrike or something like that, the axe head doesn't, or the handle doesn't break in half. But so that's kind of what you're looking for there. They always put this crappy lacquery finish stuff on there. They're usually pretty rough, and so so the next stage is just going to be to sand this whole handle smooth. So that's what we're going to do now. There's some driplets of that crap on there, so it's just kind of crappy. So what I'm going to do now is just take an orbital sander. I'm just going to sand this whole thing down here. Okay, so we're back. Got all that sanded. So all that crap is off there. Like I said, I don't know why they put that on there. It's annoying. And we'll do the final sand on the handle after the head's on there. But for now, it's really nice and smooth, and all that crap is gone off of it. So we're ready to hang the head now. So how I like to do that is I'll actually take the head and I'll stick it on here. And we'll just do a test fit here and see how close we are to getting that head on here. Now it's important every time you fit this head, just in case the head's not symmetrical, you want to make sure you're putting that axe head, so look at the maker's mark or something on there, on the same side of the handle every time. With a double bit, I mean with the other axes it's not as important because obviously you're going to have it on there, but with a double bit you want to make sure you're fitting the same side every single time. So we do a test fit on there, and now when we pull this head off, we'll have marks on the wood that show us where we need to take wood off. It looks like on the sides right here we have plenty of gap there to keep shoving this on, so it looks like what's holding this up is this right here, right in the middle there, and right in the middle there. So we need to sand that down and sand this down. I want to drive this head on here as far as I can to get this thing as solid as I possibly can. So that is our next step. 4.5 inch grinder with a sanding disc on it right here, and I'll show you how I like to do this. Some people like to use rasps and stuff like this. This is just faster for me, so this is how I do it. And do another test fit. So basically you just keep on putting it on, taking it off, putting it on, taking it off, putting it on, taking it off, and just keep test fitting everything in there. And every single time it'll go on further and further and further and further. You just slowly keep removing material until it fits like you want it to fit. Okay, so now I think we've got that head on there about as far as we want it to be. I still have a little bit of room here, about a 3/4 of an inch, that if this head ever comes loose I could pull the wedge out of it, pull the head off, and actually sand it down and bring it on a little bit more and then put it back in, so I could re-hang it on the same handle again if it ever comes loose, but I don't think it's going to. It's super, super tight all the way through there. So now what it's time to do is go ahead and put in the wedge in the top of it here. So how I like to do that is I'll measure the wedge width to my axe here, and this one actually looks like it's going to work out pretty darn good. I might trim just a little bit off of one side of this wedge. So what I'm going to do there is I'll just take my my knife here, and I want the top to be the same width. I'm just going to trim it down because I don't want it to stop by hitting the sides a little bit, so I might do it on both sides to a little bit here. Okay, so that's like that. So now I've got my wedge trimmed to fit my axe here. Now what I'm going to do is I've got my boiled linseed oil here. I'm going to open that up. And I'm just going to take that boiled linseed oil and I'm actually just going to pour it. Just going to pour it right onto this wedge here. I want this thing just covered in boiled linseed oil. Just like that. So now we're going to grab this axe and we're going to get this wedge started in there, which can be a chore because those are pinched so tight sometimes. So we're just starting that down in there. Hope you guys can see that. I'll do it right over here. So we're just starting that down into there. Okay, so once we get it down in there like that, what I'm going to do is grab a stick here that's flat. I may have to do this off camera a little bit because I want this to work right here for everybody. And this stick will help me pound this in here. Let me get it like this and see if I can hold this thing with my legs here while I pound this in. You just want to keep working that wedge in there so it's super tight. You can see that I'm getting quite tight. It's starting to curl up right there. That's exactly what you want. You want this thing just to smash, smash, smash in there. I'll give it a few more here. Okay, I think it's done moving. I'm just going to take this saw right here, hold this, I'm just going to cut that straight across there. Okay, cool. Okay, so that's what that looks like. It's all sawed off of there. Let's grab us a step wedge here. And I like to put them about in the middle, just kind of crooked like this. And this is kind of doubly ensures that this sucker doesn't come out of here. So we're just going to drive that wedge right down. Drive that wedge right down into there just like that. So that is a pretty good looking hang right there. That'll be perfect. Okay, So that's pretty much it. So the rest of the thing I got to do the finish sanding on the handle, just kind of finish all that up, and then I'll take you to that point. So now I'm just going to finish sand the handle, and then after I finish sand the handle, then I'll put we'll put some boiled linseed oil on it, on the whole handle, and after that we'll sharpen the axe up, and this axe will be ready to chop. Now we're to the sharpening stages of this thing, which is the final thing I'm going to do. And then this bad boy will be ready for a mask to be made for it, and to go start chopping into a tree. So let me show you how I sharpen these axes. I like the work sharp. Works great. It does a fast job of it, and to be honest, it does a really good job of it. So I just use these things. They work great. So let me show you how I do this. I get that bevel grind on there. Grind, and I just go along there. Oop, what happened? Came unplugged a little bit here. Okay, just like that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go like this and yeah, I think that's plenty sharp. Cool. That was good. Could have got a little hotter, but that's okay. Could have been a little bit hotter, but that's okay. Worked out good. Okay, cool. There we go. So it is done now. Thanks for watching, guys.